want therapist spaces to feel safe, but they're not. It's so funny too, because we go into this field to help other people, to care for them. And so we figure our fellow therapists are going to treat us that way too. But so often they don't. And I'm not just talking about in the big therapist groups where you can be semi anonymous, even if you're using your real name, but in the ones close to home where you know the people. You've sat next to them at a CEU training. It's a place where you go to refer clients to colleagues that you trust, where you expect, or at least hope on some level, to be seen. That's what made this moment I'm going to tell you about so jarring. But before I get into all of that, let me introduce myself in case you don't know me yet. Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Hughes. My voice is a little scratchy today, but I'm so glad to be here with you. I'm a trauma psychologist and the founder of the Brave Trauma Therapist Collective. And I do this work with fellow trauma therapists and share my stories because I know that therapists deserve to be human in their work and in their communities. So, if you're with me on that, give me a hell yeah in the comments. Let everyone know that we all deserve to be human. All right, back to what happened. I know you're here for the story. So, I had posted about a Brave event in a local therapist Facebook group. It's a small group, one where people really do know each other. And a therapist commented on this post in a way that was really harsh. It was dismissive. And I felt like it was really mean. And here I am, standing in my kitchen as I read it, getting ready for the day with my family, and my whole system, it just shut down. And what's wild is that this wasn't even the first rupture that week in some of these online spaces. Just days before, I had shared a response to a comment on a video that I had posted on TikTok. The video was about vicarious trauma. And I was sharing about an obviously cruel comment made by someone else online. And that response video, it wasn't to whine and complain about what this person said. It was to share and to talk about what it was like to feel so unsafe as I was showing up as myself in a therapist space online. And this happens even when you're just trying to share something honest. And then here I was again, days later, being hit with another hurtful remark, but this time in a small local group. It wasn't some random person on TikTok who was leaving a shitty comment. This was a space that I really did think was safe. So it shook me. And here I am again, sharing this particular story because I know I am not the only one who has felt honestly violated in online therapist spaces. I know I'm not the only one who has stood in my kitchen, leaned up against the counter, getting ready for the day, just to read a hurtful comment directed straight at me online. And this particular morning, before my brain could even register it, my body responded. My chest got tight. I could feel the anxiety, the fear, and honestly, it just made me feel so small. Then the shame came in. That old familiar voice. You're not good enough. You must have done something wrong, right? See, this is what happens when you put yourself out there, Jenny. You should just stay silent. It makes me so mad right now, even. I mean, it is scary to put ourselves out there, whether you're sharing something you care about, you're promoting your practice, or just asking for help on a tough case. We risk being judged, shamed, and misunderstood every single time we share. And the moment that that reality happens, that the judgment hits, everything in our system says, retreat, hide. See, you never should have even asked for help. It's not safe to ask for help. Don't ever do that again. And that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't say anything. This is coming back to kind of that moment. I'm in my kitchen. My husband can tell something is wrong. He asks if I'm okay. And I didn't say anything. I was frozen, right? Eventually, yes, I did respond. I took a deep breath. I reached out to my support system. I reached out to Brave, to the members in the Brave Trauma Therapist Collective. I also reached out to trusted colleagues. I was able to cry with them so that I could write back to this comment with kindness because that's who I am in these moments. And that's who Brave is. But I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking hard, right? I didn't wanna have to ask for help. I didn't want to have to go to my friends, my colleagues, to Brave and say, "Hey, this happened. I need you." Because it's really hard to ask for help, especially for me, for us as therapists. And then when I did write back, it took so much energy to stay grounded while addressing each piece of the criticism in this comment, to be direct but not defensive, to open the door for conversation while being clear in my boundaries. And but at the time of this recording, days later, this person still has not responded to my comment. That said, as I was writing back, it was really important to keep reminding myself of Brave's values, of our integrity, and to speak from that place, not from the place that was bruised and misunderstood. And writing that comment, ultimately, it wasn't just a reply, it was an act of regulation, of repair, of staying aligned with what I believe in, even when I didn't feel safe. And what's wild is that this happened the same day as the Brave event I was promoting in that post. And the event itself, it was so beautiful. My collaborator and I started by naming the anxiety and the fear that we both were feeling going into it, that we weren't good enough. We actually said it out loud in the event, in this virtual room full of other trauma therapists, and we were met with so much care. There wasn't any critique. No one distanced themselves. They were present and they showed up in the comments to hold us, even as we were feeling so shaky. And that was the repair, right? That was safety. And like I said earlier, this was just weeks after I had returned from an absolutely beautiful and healing brain spotting intensive, another shared therapist space. I name this because I want to be very clear here. Not all therapist spaces are unsafe. Some of them are deeply supportive, regulating, and restorative. I have experienced that twice in just the past few weeks and countless times in my career. And that's part of why this rupture hit so hard, because I know it can be different. And also, these kinds of comments, that's what sticks with you, not the good stuff. And so making this video right here, it's not about that one comment. It's about the pattern and the impact of that pattern on us over time, especially in therapist spaces where we're seeking support, where we're hoping to be held, and we end up getting hurt instead. I think sometimes we come in with our own unprocessed stuff because we're human. And sometimes when we join in on a conversation, we mistake harshness for honesty. Sometimes when we respond to courageous asks from our fellow therapists, we forget that behind every post is a person trying hard to do something meaningful, to do their best. And we forget that we, of all people in this world, know how to hold complexity. We do it every single day with our clients. We know how to challenge with compassion. We know how to hold space for imperfection. We know how to slow down. So why don't we offer that to each other? And I'm not saying that every therapist space needs to be perfect. That's not realistic. But we can choose to speak from curiosity instead of critique. We can choose to respond instead of react. We can choose to be human with each other. So if you've ever had that moment where you realized, shit, this space isn't safe for me, and I thought it was, I thought it would be, it's not just you. That moment hurts in a very particular way because we're supposed to be colleagues out there. and because we know better. And if you feel okay sharing, I hope you'll tell me in the comments, when was a time that you felt unsafe or unseen in a therapist space? And what did you do with it? How did you cope? What helped you move through it? Or what do you wish you had had in that moment? You never have to share more than you want to, of course. But if you do, if you're wanting to, know that it's going to help someone else feel less alone in their own story, too. And please know, there are therapist spaces out there where you can be scared, you can be uncertain and imperfect, and still be met with care. I've been in them, I've helped build them, and I really have a lot of hope that my local Facebook group will continue to be a space where I can do those things and where I can experience some repair over time so that my brain and body knows I can keep showing up as me, as a messy human, doing the damn best that I can. And that's what we do inside Brave. And I believe it's something all of us deserve. So, take a breath with me right now if you can. Just notice your shoulders. Notice what's shifted in your body, if anything, while you've listened to this story. Has something softened or what's still holding tension? Just pay attention, not to change anything. And if you realize you're holding on to something still right now and you're wondering, is it even possible to feel safe in a therapist space anymore? Remember, it is. I felt it. And if you want to hear about what that was actually like in my body, watch the video that I made about the brain spotting intensive. We're going to link it at the end of this video here. And I want you to know that it happens, that it's real. And I hope that video reminds you about what's possible. And whether you share your story in the comments here or you just sit with what surfaced, with what came up, that's brave. And if you're looking for a space where you can be with other trauma therapists and show up as a full human, not a brand, not a blank slate, that's what we're building inside of the Brave Trauma Therapist Collective. It's not perfect, but it sure as hell is real. It's protected. And I hope that it is a space where you will feel safe enough to be seen. So come back to your breath with me to close us out, okay? Just breathe, take another breath, feel your feet, let something settle. And when you're ready, I'd love to hear from you.